Are we supposed to smile?
Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Kidwai, founder and chairman of Crypto One Acquisition. We also have Michael Zhao. He's the CEO of Crypto One Acquisition. We're going to take a look at the SPAC environment and investments in digital finance. It's great to have you with us. And Naj, I want to start with you first. Certainly the SPAC environment is different than what we saw in 2020 and 2021. Give us an update on what the environment looks like.
Good morning, Jill. Thanks for having us today on Nasdaq. Well, the market is very, very different. 2020 and 2021 were just rapid growth. And what we've seen this year is that the market has slowed down dramatically. Very few issuances over the last few months. And obviously with the SEC coming out with new potential legislation about what we can do in the SPAC market around forward-looking statements has also slowed down the market. So we have seen a marked slowdown in the market today.
What types of companies does Crypto One Acquisition target?
So we're focused on finding basically an emerging market crypto play. So sort of think of it as a Coinbase of emerging markets. So exchanges, wallets, custodians. We're looking for targets in Latin America, Asia, countries like Singapore, Japan, and Europe.
And Michael, speaking of an environment that has changed, crypto as well certainly looks different than it did in 2021. What are your thoughts there?
To say it looks different is an understatement, right? You know, we're happy that we're seeing a lot of institutional money come over to the market, but especially for the past 1 month, right? You know, a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going to happen next, right? We have the markets actually corrected around 60% for the past 2-3 months, but I think it's actually a high time for us to focus on building a real asset and getting ready for the next boom.
Right. I mean, but this is also the nature of the asset class as it is looking to mature and, you know, kind of find its footing here. And of course, the question is the bottom in? Do we still have some room to run here to the downside, or do you think it's starting to find its footing?
Well, it's just like another day in life, right? You know, crypto, you know, is full of surprises, right? And that's how, that's why people are got excited every day. I mean, like, well, we're not really giving investment advices, but I think the risk return profile looks pretty good at this level.
And Naj, with the volatility that we've seen in the marketplace, with the SPAC environment evolving, has that changed your strategy at all?
No, I mean, we're, you know, fundamentally looking for good companies, right? And good companies do well in good times or bad, right? So you're really looking for companies that have a quality management team, a good customer value proposition, great product, and growing rapidly. And we see many of those businesses with those attributes in the market today. I think one of the big challenges is it the right time to go public, right? And you've got to actually figure out for your own business, when is the right time? We've actually seen over 300 companies to date. So we've done a fair amount of research and what people are looking at in the marketplace. And our view is that there are a number of great targets out there, and we're in active discussions with a number of those.
You know, it's interesting as investors, we ask ourselves, there are so many different kinds of coins that are out there and so many different ways to invest in the crypto space. Is it challenging because there is so much opportunity out there to identify which ones have longevity, which projects are the real deal? Actually, for both of you. Yeah. Naj, and I think I'd love for you to follow.
I was just going to say, look, like everything in life, right? If you look at venture-backed businesses, you know, there are thousands and thousands of companies that are reviewed every year. Not every company gets an investment. And it's the same that there's about 10,000 coins. Many of those are not viable in the long term. So again, right, it's about understanding of market and buyer beware, right? You know, you need to invest in quality teams with quality propositions that are building something that is, you know, meaningful and real. So my view is that, you know, investors do need to be careful in relation to the sort of coins that they're attracted to. It's not about, you know, get rich quick. It's not about making a quick buck, but it boils down to quality teams with quality technology and quality product.
Yeah.
Right.
I really need to echo what Nabs mentioned earlier, right? After all, it takes 10 years for Bitcoin became almost mainstream, right? We're not there yet. And there's a lot of tokens projects coming up to the market every day, right? So I think it's actually, especially during the volatile situation where people start to think about risk rather than return. And this is actually dominating the market where people are not really worried about risk. They're all talking about 100 times, right? And it's never easy like that, right? So I think, it really comes down to, do we think there's a value creation on any project? If you think that's the way to go, then, it's the right project for you. Otherwise, I think it's good to be cautious.
Right. And I would agree with you, Michael. It feels as if a lot of people, whether they're trading coins or investing in them, that they go in thinking about how much can they make without thinking about what the risk is. And we've seen what happens when, you're levered at 100 times, to your point. But in a way, having experienced this, Naj, do you think that this is positive going forward, where investors are being more discerning about their investments? They want to see a path to profitability. They want to see revenue. They want to see that these projects can in fact be executed on, and it's not just a fun branding and marketing story. I think this is good for the marketplace. What do you think?
Jill, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's great. A few years back, you just had to be in the right place at the right time. You could get 1000x. You didn't have to be smart. The market has changed substantially. Today, you actually have to figure out what is a good team, what is good technology, what is a good market. And we think that's actually better compliance, better risk, better regulation, are all of the things that are needed in the market. And we think that the crypto market, is still very, very nascent, right? If you think about it, less than 2% of the world has exposure to crypto today. So the room for growth is absolutely enormous. And we're just at the beginning of this great journey, right? So we're very, very excited.
All right, Naj, Michael, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.